here, boy. Hey, everybody. We've got a couple stories for you today.
Our cat's going crazy
My
out
cat.
there.
I thought it
Sorry,
was
it just
coyote.
distracted
Sorry,
us.
that was crazy. There's a wood pallet business that is noticing a decline in sales. It happened to be a warning bellwether or canary in the coal mine back in 2008. We're going to talk about that and read that the email. And there's another story about this person thinks that silver, there's no way it can be bartered with.
Well, he's frustrated, I think, at not getting answers.
He was a little bit passive aggressive in his comments, but I understand where you're coming from. You know, he gets tired of YouTubers trying to sell gold and silver.
Right.
But before I get into that comment, just know I'm only talking about 10 to 50%. 10% of your wealth to 50. So
Yes, that is
I'm
so
not
true.
talking about everything you got. It's a tool that we can use, and we're going to talk about that in this video. So
That is so true what he just said. And just one more thing, but when he just said on that, you guys, you're not going to even know how much to invest in precious metals unless you do a financial statement.
So true.
You can do a very dumbed down version of one. I've got one. I'll be glad to share it with you because that's what you need. You're not going to know what to invest. But anyway, yeah, this came, and by the way, this is from Ninja
Can
Nation
you link it
Report.
in the description? Or?
It's kind of hard. I just have to email it to him. But if you guys
Okay.
want to email me,
Yeah, reach out.
yeah, I'll be glad to email it to you because
I'll leave
on
your information in the description.
It's PDF document. So, but yeah, just that's how we figured out what we needed to invest. But not only that, but thank you guys for responding and giving us this information. Without this whole community, there's a lot of things we wouldn't even know, like the Mississippi River. You know, that was kind of like really not talked about a whole lot. Now it's getting bigger and people are talking about it. But anyway,
Thank you,
this
Captain.
email. Yes, this email, Marcy and Jason and all you guys. So the email, the name of the title is Wooden Pallet Business is Collapsing. It says, hey friends, my family has run a wooden pallet business for 40 years here in East Tennessee. He mentioned the other day that they are going to have to be letting 5 to 6 people go due to a 30% decline in business from this time last year. That's a lot, 30% in the year. He knows a larger pallet operation in North Carolina who has previously had 80 employees that is now down to 5. So from 80 to 5, that's not good. Businesses are not needing new pallets, wooden pallets, due to the current glut of goods.
We've been talking about
And
that for a minute.
We have. You guys just go to the stores.
The kink in the supply chain has had so much reaction. It's like it can't get out.
Well,
it's like it
especially the
tightens
stuff
up and then it slacks and it tightens up. So it's very strange.
It is, but also it's a lot of that glut of goods of stuff you don't necessarily need. I think that's a lot of it also.
Well, people are buying things they need and they're cutting discretionary spending.
That's true, very true. He says he remembers back in 2008 when they almost had to shut their doors. He was mentioning that things may be worse this time because back in 2008, it was almost 3 to 6 months after the business started to tail off before things started to crumble. So you're thinking about this. So if things are kind of tailing off right now, where are we going to be in 3 to 6 months? And once again, this is something that we've been saying, and people are like, oh, no, everything's fine, everything's good, but...
This is a warning. I made a video about 7 months ago. The stock market was all-time highs. The Elon Musk was selling stock. Jeff Bezos was selling stock. The billionaires were selling stock in big amounts. And I was saying, hey, this is happening right now. This could be one of those things. Hey, the pallet situation that was brought to me by a listener that's trying to help the community is saying, hey, this happened before the GFC, the Great Financial Crisis. You know, the big one that happened when we let the cat out of the bag on the money printing in 2008. This happened then. And now it's happening now. So, and he thinks it could be worse, and I could agree more. I mean, this is something to really take to heart and just.
Well, we say this often: connect the dots. Take one little piece, add it to the next little piece. Just pay attention because these little pieces, that is what's going to help. Okay, that's going to help what you're going to decide to purchase, where you're going to put your pressure, what you're going to put your money. That is going to help you decide if you watch these little pieces. I think that's. And we don't always agree. We have differences
to say
of
the
opinion.
least.
And we joke about it, but I mean, everybody's going to have their own difference of opinions.
What's the fun in having a wife you agree with all the time? That's all I'm saying.
No, I make it challenging. That's the reason why he has no hair. But anyway.
That's true. Pulled it all out a long time ago.
But anyway, so the next question, or the next actually comment, I want you to read that because this was actually on the YouTube channel.
Okay, so Bearcat, he's tired of YouTubers not talking about confiscation. He's tired of, and I get it. Case in point right here. When you need to use silver for a gallon of gas, you have a gram of silver, but now it's worth $500. Explain to me in detail how the transaction takes place.
Okay, let's stop right there because we've discussed this, you and I did. First off, we're talking still dollars. We don't know if the dollars are even going to be around at that point.
You're denominating things in the wrong
We're speculating, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what we do. We denominate things in dollars.
We do now.
Yeah, because that's the way it's been for the last 100 years or so.
Well, 50-something. No, true. Maybe over that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So all right. But if remember the stats you just read a few minutes ago. If what did you say? 1 gram is worth $500.
If 1 gram is worth $500, that would mean 1 ounce of silver is worth over $14,000 because 1 gram, there's 28.35 grams in 1 ounce. So that equates to over $14,000 in an ounce of silver. Now, if you're thinking like that, what is a price of milk? What's the price of bread? What's the price of fuel? You see what I'm saying? You're denominating these things in the wrong thing from the get-go. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong about confiscation. I'm not saying you're wrong and we're going to be bartering with gold and silver because I have a hard time, and I'm not saying we're not, but I have a hard time wrapping my head around sheckling gold and silver back and forth. I feel like we're kind of in a digital environment, and that's kind of the way it's going to be. They're going to push us there, but in short term...
I know. And this is where we disagree a little bit.
What?
Because I see it happening daily when people call me. I say daily, weekly. That people are actually taking the gold and silver right now. Now, they are denominating them in U.S. dollars, but they're using them to barter as we speak. And I asked them specifically, how are you doing it? And they said, we're taking the spot price, adding a little bit of premium, and we're saying instead of bringing us U.S. dollars, bring us silver. And there's 3 or 4 businesses that have called me and said that. So I don't know, is that a form of bargaining? I mean, is that a form of bartering?
Well, here's what I would say is she's on the front lines. She's selling it every day. People are buying. That means they're getting rid of fiat currency and turning it into precious metals on a daily basis from 8 in the morning till 7 at night.
Pretty much, yeah.
Non-stop, new buyers. People are running to monetary precious metals. They're turning their currency into precious metals, just like they have always done through the last 600 fiat currencies.
But just a minute, though, is that would be a form of bartering? The examples I just gave you.
Absolutely.
There's a farmer.
Yeah.
He's doing that. There's gas stations at local mom and pops that are doing that. There's various other people that are doing it. So when you guys call me, are they doing it? Will you do it? I don't know. But back to where you go to the extreme, you were talking about bartering hard assets versus if you take the dollar away. So go ahead, because you had a really interesting theory on that where you said, no, you might be bartering hard assets versus you're not going to say it's worth $500,000 or $500.
Well, look, there's a few things you can use to barter. Just try to think through it as we get into it. Food. Mm-hmm. Everybody needs food. All right, fine. What are you going to trade for that food? All right, think bigger. That's what I try to do immediately. When you come up to a problem, make it bigger. It makes it easier to solve. So remember that. Exacerbate the problem. It makes it easier to solve. So, okay, I need food. No, I don't need a box of ramen noodles. I need a vat of grain because I need to feed some people. I need food. Okay, what are you going to trade for that food? What are you going to trade? Chickens? Or
if you don't have chickens, do you have maybe silver, gold?
What? No. Just try to think.
Wood?
What? Firewood? Firearms?
Okay.
Ammo? Oil?
Services?
A barrel of oil? What are you going to trade for? It's easier to make transaction like we've done for the last several hundred years in something that is finite, something that is a hard asset that only God put in the ground. There's only so much of. That's where my mind goes when I think of, bartering for goods. It's like, well, what else am I going to trade? It's hard to make that trade. Okay, let's make it smaller. Make it really tiny right now. I need some chicken. I need some eggs. Let's go to the store and get some eggs.
Yep.
What are you going to trade for eggs? An ounce of silver? Well, that's too big. It's worth, like you said, $14,000, and all I've got is an ounce. What are we going to do? Are we going to chip little pieces off of it?
Right. No, makes no sense.
Probably not.
No.
Probably not. You would probably trade that ounce of silver for something else that would be easier split up, easier to transact.
Okay,
in.
no, I
so
see
what
you're
is
saying.
that? What is that going to be?
Maybe a piece of machine that would run to help maybe do, I don't know, I mean, you can go clear speculation here. I've had everybody say that.
So in the meantime, when the currencies are being printed in, and I don't mean ours, I mean globally. Globally, all fiat currencies are being absolutely destroyed. They're just being printed nonstop, forever be gone. I mean, none. It will be the collapse of that nobody's ever seen before, just due to these morons that are in, because they're not going to do the right thing. They're not going to just suffer the consequences. They're going to print money. When the Fed pivots and when things get so bad and they print into the stratosphere, then anything's on the table. So what are we going to trade in? That's the main question. What is the easiest thing? Is it a small piece of silver?
I don't know.
Probably. I would argue probably.
It's one option.
What is the other option?
Well, you're going to have other things on hand. You're going to have services.
I
You're
mean,
going to have trades.
Name one. I want to name
Okay,
one.
like you can weld. So for your welding,
Okay.
I might be able to get, if you went to weld and was able to fix something for somebody, I might be able to get chickens, eggs, maybe some milk with the local farmer that we have. Remember the guy or the people we met that does the local milk?
But you don't have eggs, and I need eggs, and I'm welding for you. What are you going to trade me?
Say that again?
I need eggs.
No, you're going to go someplace that has eggs.
Yeah, but what are you going to give me?
So they're going to give you eggs if you weld for them.
But they don't, but I welded for somebody else that didn't have eggs. What am I going to weld for those people that have eggs?
No, you would only go weld if they could give you something back.
That's what I'm saying. So if we had a means to transact, they could give me silver, and I could take that silver and take it over here and get eggs.
You absolutely
It's a mean to.
I see what you're saying.
It's a mean to trade.
Yeah, if you didn't have services or eggs available,
Yeah.
it is another means of
here's
trade.
the other thing: people that have $400,000 in their bank account,
Or more
people
than
that have money like $4 million.
Right, they're worried.
Why would they not hedge against inflation with something that has always done good
And land.
when inflation happened? I don't understand that theory. Why would you not? And now I know that is in between the spot where Thunderdome and now. There's a spot between when Thunderdome's full-fledged and now that precious metals are going to do good. And if you don't agree with that, we are on the different spectrums altogether, because that has not been the case through the history of mankind.
Yeah, no, I think it's something we get asked daily, and it's really hard sometimes to put into words. It's how you perceive it, how you look at it, how you wrap your head around it. But I think that's a pretty good way of saying it. It's a means, like you said, to.
It's a tool.
It's a tool. I love it.
It's a Thunderdome tool.
Thunderdome tool. I like that.
Yeah. It's amongst your other tools. And if you're not really crazy about it, have 1%. If you think it might be a possibility, have 10%. I don't ever say put all of your money in anything. No. And don't do anything I say because I'm not a financial advisor. But the wealthy, the world leaders, and these people that have a lot of money are moving into it daily. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah, even countries. Countries.
Yeah. China doesn't let any go out. They only let it come in, and they keep all they produce. And they're one of the biggest nations in the world, and they will never let the cat out of the bag until it's time.
Right.
Because they're not going to sell it short. If the price shoots up, then it's shot up, and then they're done. So just know that nations, wealthy people, and all the masses with money are moving into precious metals. I can attest to that. She's on the front lines every day, And it's hard for me to say how we're going to buy it for a gallon of gas. How are you going to use silver for a gram of silver for a gallon of gas? I don't know. Nobody knows that answer because we've never been there before.
Nope. It's another speculation. But hey, before we wrap it up for the night, so we also get asked a lot about what to do with cash. And Chris has put together a panel of guys, which we hope to hopefully go live tomorrow night. Would you tell them a little bit about that? 'Cause I'm pretty excited.
I've got Jack, Melonhead.
Nobody special.
Nobody
Super
special.
smart guy.
Yeah, he's got a melon head that's slap full of brains. And I've got Joe Brown with
Another
Heresy
smart guy.
Financial. He's going to be on tomorrow. And I've got Dan Allegedly.
Another smart guys.
And these guys are super sharp, and we're going to discuss what we should do with money that we have that we're sitting on that is eroding out from under us. We're going to talk all around it. I don't know how long the conversation is going to go. It will be part one of several, I would imagine, because this is a hot topic. We get asked this question all the time, and it's very important to me and everybody else. So we're going to start this journey together, and we're going to finish together. We're going to get muddled through this, as I like to say, and we're going to come out on the other side because you're ahead of the curve. If you're listening to me right now and you're watching all the way to the end of the video, put hashtag financial prepper. I don't know. Put hashtag, financial prepper. I don't know. I just need to know you made it to the end of the video because I'll know you're the guys that are actually paying attention. So, guys, have an awesome, awesome day. We'll catch you in the next one. Later.